Renovating an old Stuart steam engine, Part 3. Removing the crankshaft and main bearings, which just leaves the engine standard and base, which will be cleaned up using my ultrasonic cleaner and then painted. I remove the connecting rod assembly from the crankshaft. This is machined from the solid and has some marks on it. I attempt to get rid of the marks and then I remove the steam chest. Finally, I dig out all the old graphited yarn from the piston rod stuffing gland. Here are the main bearings. They are very well made, especially the oil cups, which I'm not sure whether they are commercial ones or whether they were built with the engine. The socket fitted perfectly on the first retaining bolt, but not on the second. And that explains why I'm using a spanner, followed by my fingers, to remove the second bolt. I was quite pleased to see that the crankshaft is in very good condition. It's not particularly scored, and the bearings are hardly worn at all. Over the years, my guess is this engine has not done much running. It spent most of its life in a damp, dusty shed. That would explain the rust and the large amount of dirt that was more or less all over the engine. Time to take off the second bearing cap, and once again the crankshaft is in excellent condition. In this clip I'm removing the crankshaft from the crank pin. 2 bolts, one of which is converted to an oiler. Very clever. I've never seen this before. Removing the bottom part of the big end was a very routine and simple job, and as you can see, as soon as it was removed, the connecting rod could be moved out of the way. For some reason, this clip is making the job look much harder than it was. I put the connecting rod in the plastic box, and now what I have left is just the main part of the engine, the base and the standard. I'm going to leave the 2 bearings in position. I don't want to disturb them. I'll mask them off when I paint it. Taking a close look at the crankshaft, I'm pretty sure this has been machined from a casting. That explains the marks. My method of making crankshafts is to build them up from separate parts, but this one is extremely accurate, which is generally better than the ones that I make. I can live with the marks in the casting because it shouts out, "Look at this crankshaft, it's been machined properly from a casting." By using a combination of some 400 grade wet-to-dry sandpaper and some oil, plus some Scotch-Brite, I managed to make it so that the crankshaft didn't look quite as bad. I must admit though, it did take a lot longer than I'm showing on the video, which is currently in any case running at double speed. After much rubbing on wet-to-dry sandpaper and Scotch-Brite, it now looks like this. In this still image, if you take a look at the crankshaft itself, the part that goes through the bearings, you can see that there's next to no wear in the bearing area. Moving on to the next job, I need to remove these studs that hold the steam chest to the cylinder because they are too short. It's a good idea to avoid using pliers to extract the studs, so it's top tip time. When removing studs, or even when fixing studs in position, use the lock nut method. A couple of nuts locked together and then use a spanner to either slacken or tighten the stud into the hole. A quick thought, it's a good idea to use the spanner on the nut on the inside. If you use it on the outer nut, it will come loose. Removing the lock nuts from the stud that you've removed is very easy. Put the spanner on one and use the socket on the other in exactly the same way that you fit them. Using pliers could be a problem because if you chew up the end of the stud, should the stud be tight, then it's going to be quite difficult to fit a nut which is required for the lock nut method. I didn't show removing every stud, it was tedious enough as it was. With the studs removed, the steam chest simply fell off the cylinder, leaving some of the sealant behind. This is definitely not silicone. It's much better than silicone. For this application anyway. I'm going to fit gaskets, so with a bit of luck I shouldn't need any sealant. I removed the rest of this stuff on a piece of wet-to-dry sandpaper. I'd like to show you this. I was quite surprised. This is a repair. During the milling operation something went wrong, and it looks like the exhaust port was a bit of a mess, but it's been expertly repaired by using silver solder to make it the right shape again. The bottom cylinder cover is firmly stuck to the cylinder, so I think I will leave it like this, because it has the sealant in between the joint, which works perfectly well. However, I may live to regret this and have to remove the cylinder again to fit a gasket. I'll just wait and see how it goes. You're watching me cleaning off the sealant from the end of the cylinder. It's very important not to get any oil and grit mixture in the cylinder, so I'm giving it a thorough clean using some cellulose thinners, or lacquer thinner as you call it in the USA. A bit of a health and safety warning: make sure you do this in a well ventilated area and don't use a toothbrush to clean your teeth in the morning. I was quite thorough when I did this job. I applied quite a lot of cellulose thinners to make sure that not only the grit was being removed, but all the old black oil as well. Finally, I cleaned up the area and down into the cylinder using a cotton cloth. Back now to the cellulose thinners, and I'm using it to clean the stuffing gland. The stuffing gland, like a lot of parts on this engine, is very well made. This is a sensible stuffing gland. It's much better than it being hexagonal. In the final part of this video, using a piece of wire, I'm removing all the old stuffing gland material. This is, or was, graphited yarn, but over the years it's no longer really graphited, and the yarn has broken up. In the next episode I'll be fitting some new graphited yarn. These days generally I use Teflon coated yarn, but I have in my box of graphited yarn a piece of graphited yarn which is new old stock, and it looks nothing at all like this that came out of the stuffing gland. That's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.